Hey guys, Rusty K, Rusty K's Rad Rods Garage. Wanted to make a video for you today. I don't normally do this, but as I was working on some wet sanding, I thought that I would go ahead and go through my process and the reasons why I never give up on a paint job, even if I think it's bad coming out of the gun. Now, I do a lot of work with the Testors quarter-ounce paints, and the last one I did, I think you guys saw, was a Del Rey. This is all done in quarter-ounce paint. Mixed with lacquer thinner, and I will show you how I get to this point off of a bad paint job. This paint job wasn't as bad as what I'm going to show you, but I still had to do some wet sanding to get there. So I like this color. It's a tangerine orange, Testors. Now all my kits, I also out of the package, I dry sand up to 12,000, starting at 800, and then I wet sand the bare plastic, starting back at about 3,200 all the way up to 12,000 before I even lay the paint. I lay my paint down primarily over bare plastic when I'm using these Testors quarter-ounce paints. And I mix it 2 to 1 paint to lacquer thinner, and then I put it in a separate jar, mix it up, and I attach this right to my Pache H 5 needle, and away I go. So I wanted to show you this paint job did not come out quite how I wanted it. And you can see on the trunk bed here, a lot of orange peel there. You see that? So I could have easily have just dunked this in the solution and stripped it. But you know what? The paint only goes so far. I didn't want to have to worry about needing more paint. So I started to wet sand. And you can see I did the roof here. And I also did this side right here. You can see the difference between the back quarter panel and the door. I'm trying to get to where this light will show you some of the reflection on the orange peel. Let's see if I can get this a little closer so you can sort of see the orange peel. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you what I do to get rid of this orange peel. I will do, I guess I will just go ahead and continue on with this door right here to get rid of that orange peel to look more like the quarter panel. So what I use is I use these LMG microfibers micro mesh kit. Comes with a polishing kit as well, but I don't use that. What I do is I take each, these go from 1,800 up to 12,000. I take them all, and I have one of these, actually it was for my fishing lures at one point, but I cut these into small pieces, and I separate them in here, and this is what I use for my wet sanding. So I'm just going to show you real quick how I wet sand up to 12,000. And let me just take this towel, put this here, because we do get a little messy, right? Bring this up in the picture a little bit. Now sometimes I'll use some Dawn in here, sometimes I won't, but this is just tap water. And I will start with the 1,800. And you don't have to use a lot of pressure. You want to make sure you don't burn through, right? But like I said, this paint job is starting off like this. You can see all that nastiness in there, right? So we're going to get rid of that. So 1,800. You can see I have all my squares labeled in the grit that it is. And we're just going to lightly sand. Let the mesh do the work, right? You don't have to put a lot of pressure here. This is a bright orange, isn't it? It's the tangerine orange, but I do like this color. You don't have to spend a lot of time on each grit. Now, obviously, I'm just going through the door here, so I'm not going to have to spend a whole lot of time on each grit. There's the 1,800, right? Now we go to 2,400. There again, not a lot of pressure being put down here. You don't want to cut through. So I would just say moderate pressure. Let the mesh do most of the work. And by all means, I am no pro at paint jobs here, but I have just found that this is what works best for me. The more time I put into the body work, I enjoy the outcome. So everybody doesn't do it the same way, but This is how I do it. Now I'm going to 3200. And periodically I will just take a paper towel, sort of wipe off. So you can already see it's already knocking down that orange peel. So you can see the orange peel on the quarter panel there and on the door. You can see the difference, right? That was 3200. Now we're going to 3600. And as you're doing this, you can actually feel when you start getting up into the higher grits, the 6,000, 8,000, and 12,000, you can actually feel the smoothness underneath the mesh paper as you do this. And again, this was just Testors 1/4 ounce paint. There's no reason to go spend a lot of money on paint if you don't want to. Now, I use Tamiya spray cans, and I use scale finishes, and I use MCW. I use all sorts of paints, but up to 4,000 now. But these 1/4 ounce paints, that maybe you have some sitting around you want to use, just cut it 2 to 1 and spray. I have also several airbrushes. I have the Neos, several Neos, and I have a couple Pachets, but I use the Pache H mostly for spraying the bodies. Now we're up to 6,000. I know this is just riveting, isn't it? But if you just put the time in, you don't have to get discouraged with that very heavy orange peel or almost like sticky, tacky paint job. This one came out a little wet on me, and like I said, you don't realize it so much while you're spraying it, but I could have easily have just put this in the bath and started over, but you know, I bought 3 bottles of this tangerine. I didn't want to have to go through a whole nother bottle and a half or so. So I decided, you know, I'm just going to wet sand it and get it to where I want it. So never give up on the paint job. Now, are there times that, well, that's the keyhole. Are there times that I have to get stuff in a bath? Oh yeah, I mean, I've done that quite frequently actually. And you'll see some of the paint is coming off a little bit here, but that's okay. And then we're going up to 12,000 already, right? And this, at this point, this mesh is just gliding over this. There's really no resistance from the model or the paint at all at this point. We're just smoothing it out, knocking all that stuff down to get that paint back flat. Is all we're looking to do. So there we go. That paint job, I may have to touch a little bit up on the quarter panel here when I go into the next phase, but that paint job is now smooth as a baby's butt compared to that quarter panel. And I will do the rest here, and I will see, you can see how bad that is? That's how this started out. And now it's flat, the roof as well. I did that. So now I will go ahead and get this, I'll finish this up. I'll get this in clear. And then after I clear it, if I have to go through the same steps of wet sanding from 3,200 maybe all the way up to 12,000 before I polish, I will do that. But there's no reason why these 1/4 ounce paints can't come out like this with just a little bit of body work and taking your time and putting in the work. This is not show quality by any means, but this is my show quality. These go on my in my office here and on my shelf. So if I can make them look like this, I'm happy. So, hope that helps somebody. I know a lot of you guys are out there are pros, so this may not have any effect for you guys, but this is what I do. So I figured I would show my process. Thanks, guys.